Ever get that feel? You know that feeling like you're just scratching the surface of someone's story?
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're diving deep, really deep, into the world of Brant Hansen.
Okay.
This is a guy who's gone from oil fields to e-commerce. And his LinkedIn profile,
Yeah.
it reads like a masterclass in career pivots, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Seriously. You gave us some fantastic source material, really appreciated his LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is not your average 9 to 5 kind of story.
Okay.
Not even close, no way. We're about to unpack a career path that's, well, let's just say it's anything but ordinary.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm seeing insurance, construction, real estate, exporting.
Wow, he's got quite the resume already.
Wait, there's more. There's even a mention of him owning like a full-on vehicle export business
Yeah.
between Canada and the U.S.
No kidding. That's not something you see every day.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of person, I mean, really, what kind of person thrives in that kind of environment?
You're right. That's not your typical side hustle, is it?
Right.
It takes a certain breed to not only deal with the logistics of international trade, but then to actually be successful in such a niche field.
And if that wasn't enough, hold on. He then dives headfirst into e-commerce. E-commerce.
Oh.
So what's the common thread? How do you even begin to connect those dots? They seem so different.
You know, that's what's really fascinating to me. The industries are all over the place, right?
Right.
But the skills you need, adaptability, problem solving, spotting opportunity,
Right.
those all point to this amazing ability to not just survive, but really thrive in environments that are constantly changing.
It's like he's mastered the art of the career pivot.
Exactly.
And get this, he actually says in his About section on LinkedIn, he says he's results-driven and can adapt to any industry. Bold words, right?
That's quite a statement.
What does that even mean in the real world, you know? Is that just like LinkedIn buzzwords, or is there something deeper there?
I mean, anyone can say there's results-driven, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a career history as diverse as his to back it up, that's got to mean something.
Yeah, it's not just about wearing different hats.
It's deeper than that. It's about truly understanding what makes businesses succeed, no matter the industry, and then putting those principles into practice.
It suggests he gets it. He gets market forces, customer needs, you know, and he can spot a trend a mile away.
Absolutely.
Almost like he has this internal compass, points him straight toward opportunity no matter what.
That's a great way to put it.
And speaking of which, let's talk about this vehicle export business for a sec.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking international trade regulations, logistics, customer relationships. It's a lot.
It's a lot to juggle, for sure.
What are the biggest hurdles someone would face in that kind of venture?
You've hit the nail on the head. It's incredibly complex. You've got different legal systems, customs regulations.
Oh, I bet.
And then there's the challenge of physically moving cars across borders.
Oh, right, of course.
So you need a deep understanding of compliance, risk management, and the ability to build strong relationships with the people across different cultures, different time zones.
It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. So we're seeing this real pattern here, this embracing challenges head on, but there's also a calculated risk-taking thing happening here, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Anyone can jump into something new.
Yeah.
But to do it over and over in such different fields, that takes strategy. It's not just about diving in. It's about knowing how deep the water is first.
Maybe even having the foresight to bring some scuba gear, just in case.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got this chameleon-like ability to thrive anywhere, but what about those early days? The oil fields, construction sites.
Right.
How do those experiences, which are often really physically demanding, you know, how do those translate into a boardroom, into the world of e-commerce?
That's where things get really interesting. Because on the surface, those industries seem worlds apart, right?
Totally.
But the lessons learned in those early roles, those might be the foundation of everything that came after. Think about it. Oil fields, construction sites,
Yeah.
they demand problem solving in the moment, resilience when things get tough,
Yeah.
a deep understanding of practical hands-on work.
It's the grit, the get-it-done attitude that you often see in those environments.
Exactly. And those aren't qualities you learn from a book. You know, they're earned through experience, through facing those challenges and coming out the other side.
Right.
It's like he's taken those hard-won lessons and applied them to the business world where the stakes are different, but the core principles, those stay the same.
And we're back. Back for more on the deep dive. We're digging even deeper today into the fascinating career journey of Brant Hansen.
Yeah, this is really interesting stuff.
Last time we were talking about grit, right? That determination you hone in places like oil fields and construction sites.
Right, right. Those like less glamorous but totally essential experiences, you know?
Totally. And those experiences, they might be a big part of what drives him as an entrepreneur.
Could be.
But let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about, what we've picked up from his LinkedIn activity. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, it's like we get to peek behind the curtain a little bit, you know? Social media can be really revealing.
It really can. And Brant's LinkedIn, let me tell you, it's a gold mine. For example, remember how he liked that post about Ryan Reynolds giving business advice?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Not your typical business guru. Right. What'd you make of that?
Right. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Ryan Reynolds, known for, well, being Ryan Reynolds, but then boom, he's dropping business wisdom.
Exactly.
So it makes you think maybe Brant's not afraid to think outside the box a little, you know?
Like he's saying, hey, a good idea is a good idea, even if it comes from a Hollywood star. But it's not all fun and games, is it? Remember that post about someone, actually breaking down crying while doing door-to-door sales?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That one got to me too.
It's a different side of entrepreneurship, isn't it?
For sure. Building a business. It's tough. And that post, it just showed that raw, emotional side of it all.
Totally. It makes you wonder if he's been there, experienced those tough moments firsthand.
Yeah, that authenticity can be really powerful, especially online, where everything's so polished and perfect.
Speaking of which, he also engaged with a post about the American dream. Now, that one felt kind of big to me. It wasn't about his businesses directly or anything, but...
Yeah, but it speaks to something deeper, doesn't it?
Right. It made me think he's not just focused on his own success, He's thinking about the bigger picture, the context, the whole idea of the American dream.
Yeah, especially these days when the idea of the American dream is so, I don't know, debated.
Exactly. So the fact that he engaged with it at all, it tells you something.
Yeah, like maybe there's a certain kind of optimism there, you know?
That can-do spirit. It's like he carries that with him everywhere he goes, whether he's closing deals or thinking about, I don't know, big ideas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we've talked about his likes, right? But I'm also curious about what he chooses to share himself.
Sure, yeah.
Like recently, he shared an article about the future of e-commerce. What do you make of that?
That's interesting. Sharing an article like that, it tells me he's not just reading this stuff passively. He wants to talk about it.
Right. He wants to be part of the conversation.
It's like he's positioning himself as an expert, a thought leader.
Right. Hey, I'm not just building a business here. I'm thinking about the future of the whole industry. And that kind of attitude, that can really help you build a strong network. People want to connect with someone who's in the know.
Makes sense.
Oh. And don't forget, he also mentions that he speaks Mandarin.
Oh, wow. Right. I saw that.
That's not just a random fun fact.
Not at all. These days, being able to talk to people from different cultures, that's a superpower.
I bet.
Especially in the business world, which is only getting more global.
We're back one last time today for the deep dive. Still swimming, right? In the fascinating world of Brant Hansen's career.
Still swimming.
We've covered so much from those early days, oil fields,
Right.
to his whole thing with e-commerce. But there's this one more thing. It's small, but it really says a lot, I think, about how he approaches work, life, everything.
Oh, okay. I'm curious. What is it?
So in one of his posts on LinkedIn, Brant mentions being drawn to both oil fields and deconstruction.
Okay.
And I got curious, so I dug a little deeper, right? I noticed he liked this post. It said, controlled by the only thing I know, the oil field and construction. And I don't know about you, but that controlled by part, kind of intense.
It is interesting wording.
It makes you think about why those industries, what is it about them that appealed to him? This guy who's clearly not afraid of a challenge,
Exactly. And it's not just the work, right? It's a whole mindset.
Exactly. You got to stay calm under pressure, think fast, make big decisions with almost no information.
It's high stakes.
Yeah.
And those skills, invaluable no matter what you do.
Right. And it makes you wonder, right, those early experiences, oil fields, construction sites, those are make or break situations. Did those shape him as an entrepreneur?
It's a good question.
It's like he learned to embrace the chaos, see the opportunity in the unexpected. That's huge, I think.
Being able to adapt like that, essential, really. Especially these days, the market's changing so fast.
All the time. And speaking of which, I saw Brant also like to post from a company they do. tax assessment objections.
Okay,
And
right.
at first I'm like, what? But then I remembered his background's in real estate, business. It makes
It's like
sense.
he's always connecting the dots,
Yeah.
finding these hidden patterns and using them.
Exactly. And to me, that says he's intellectually curious, always learning, even if it's not directly related to what he's doing.
The best entrepreneurs are like that. They never stop. Always something new to learn, a new challenge.
It's inspiring, to see someone so excited about learning and growing. And for us, it's like a good reminder
What's that?
that curiosity, stepping outside our comfort zones, that's how we grow as people in our careers, everything.
Couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up here, our deep dive into Brant Hansen, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the biggest thing, for me at least, is that a career, it doesn't have to be a straight line. It's those detours, the unexpected stuff that really makes us who we are.
That's really well said.
Brant's story, it shows that embracing change, looking for challenges, those are good things. So next time you're feeling stuck, think of Brant. Embrace those detours, stay curious, keep learning. Who knows? Your next amazing opportunity might be right around the corner. And that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We'll be back with another one soon. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.